Hi, and welcome back to Old School. Today we'll be talking about the emotional quadrant and the curriculum for that. It is called Being Human 127. The 127 coming from Genesis 127, where God created humans, male and female, with a chasm of difference in how we handle our emotions, both our own and those that are foisted upon us by others. So, having a good handle on our emotional intelligence and knowing where we come from when we react or act, what we say, all matters in how our relationships, how we physically react to stress. There are so many, all of the emotions impact us across the board in the physical, emotional, spiritual, and intellectual realms because when those areas are impacted, those hormones, those chemicals are all released, and now we've got even more to contend with. As if just being human wasn't enough. Almost from birth, I have had a unrelenting um, amount of either physical or emotional abuse, kind of, I suppose mental as well, in my life. It has been traumatic. It's not every single day. It was in such spans though, and at critical times in my life, and then also in coming from relationships that were supposed to love me and weren't supposed to act that way. And I am not perfect. I have done my own damage to both myself and to others. So that isn't what I want this to be. I'm not a victim. I was the recipient of that abuse, but that is on them. They have to answer for what happened and what they did, and I just have to find my way forward, my way of discernment, so I don't make the choices when it was up to me. The ones in my childhood were not up to me. But now I have to fix my defective discernment, or actually get out of the way and let the Lord fix my defective discernment. So I'd have to say probably one of my biggest fears is choosing wrong again. So those are the kind of things that I have walked out, and it has been an interesting journey. It has involved certainly counseling and podcasts and books and journaling and crying. Recently, I'm not a fan at all of like psychological or personality tests. I feel like you can mess with those. I think you can when you're going for a job. You know exactly what they're looking for at that job, and you kind of answer the question the way you think they would like it. I'm not a liar. I answer it truthfully in how I would behave, but also in the environment of the workplace I would be going into. So I just feel like people can kind of answer what they hope they are, what they wish they were, what they hope they look like to the world. And so several people have been telling me to try to take this Enneagram. And I just was him and hawing about it. And then Ian Cron came to CCV, my church, and spoke about it. And a lot of the staff at various churches do work this particular test. Others do Myers-Briggs or whatever the other ones may be. So I broke down. They offered a discount, especially if you went for the one that was a little more drilled down. So I went on the site and I answered it, and just out of the gate from the questions, it was fascinating in that I could see you couldn't pick what you wanted the outcome to be. So that right there just shot that down. Not that I was going to do that, but maybe subconsciously, because I just wanted to prove one more test wasn't going to be any different. So I finished it. If you do the more in depth, you get this 24-page scenario and explanation for everything. And I have to tell you, It was spot on, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'll go a lot more into that in this curriculum, in this class, Being Human. It was really eye-opening, and it's been eye-opening in helping me walk out some stuff I had been stuffing or hiding or thinking I had addressed. I think I'm a happy person. I think I have joy, and I don't think it's fake. I think those things are a choice, though. So I can either sit in my little pity party, or I can make the choice that when I go out into the world today, that I would like my impact to be joyful and happy and not be, just fearful and chicken little or angry or cynical. It just doesn't work with me. I have, as you will find out across the quadrants, I'm kind of a logical person, and in my book I talk about this, that I used logic to, be my hiding place coming out of some of the abuse, as well as humor. I am 100% a smartass, and that doesn't always come out at the appropriate time. I saw a meme the other day that talked about everybody needs that friend that you don't want to have at serious functions. And I do behave myself, but sometimes it just pops out, like the Pez dispenser with Seinfeld. And that's if you know kind of a thing. Maybe I'm dating myself. But anyway, so all of these things are what help me. My meditation time, certainly scripture, certainly praying and talking to the Lord about what I'm going through. And a lot of times when you want a certain character trait, or when you want a certain behavior, you want patience or you want discernment, well, the only way to get that is walking it out, walking it through, having some circumstances in your life that make you form and change, and and change the habits that you have when you head into things. And so, yeah, you ask, you get. So we'll talk about all of those things and all the ways that I just feel like after my divorce, yes, that I was able to walk out even some things from my childhood that I didn't realize I had kind of sidestepped, but then came to light in a heavier way at that time. And again, not wanting my abuse, any trauma, my divorce, any of it to be what defines me, because it doesn't. But certainly those things do leave a mark. They do leave a scar, and you do have to walk through that. And I love I saw it on the internet. I don't know whose it is or who posted it, but when it talks about how in Japan, when a vase is broken, when they fix it with gold in the cracks, because it's the only thing that can get it to hold back together and not leak. And I just think a precious metal, putting us back together after we're broken, isn't that a God thing? I am a princess, and when He's putting me back together, He is my creator. He's going to use something precious on His something precious. So I'm really happy that you came back. I hope you're enjoying your time here. And now we have introduced all of the 4 quadrants, as well as what Old School is about. So from here on out, I'll be popcorning between all 4 of them, trying to not, get stuck in any one class, and bringing up all of the things that I feel, in the Old School realm, that might benefit somebody to not have to walk through the hard way themselves. So that's my whole point, and I hope that I can have some fun and it can be entertaining and we can enjoy ourselves along the way. So thank you for coming back. If you like what's going on, if you would hit like, the bell, you don't have to get notifications if you don't want, but if you guys would subscribe, that would just be awesome. Again, that helps me with my platform, with my book. And if you want to engage in the comments, I'm more than happy to give you links to things like the Enneagram test or whatever we might be discussing in each of the classes. I'd love to be there for you, and I'd love to hear from you. So, class dismissed.